what you are feeding yourself spiritually, emotionally, soulish, that is very, very important to check on it, because for most of our lives we have been feeding our mind, our intellect, but now in this journey of the soul, we are now coming back to feeding our soul material. That is not the kind of content that you have been used to every day, because most of the materials that are there, it is intellect, feeding like your intellect, knowing, things. But now in this journey, it is a lifestyle now you are embracing every day, where you are now feeding the soul, the spirit part of you. And you will find that kind of content, it may look like boring, because to the mind it is like a boring kind of a content. It is not exciting the mind, but that is exactly the content that you are now feeding yourself. You want to see that at least daily you have a place where you are consuming this kind of content. It is good for your soul, and also the kind of things that you want to get involved in every now and then, or daily, your practices. You want to see that those practices are all soul based. Things like meditating, things like walking, and things like hobbies that are soul based. You want to come from that place. At least every day you want to do a combination of those things. You want to have to feed yourself with content that is soul-based. Soul-based. It is not it is this kind of content you'll think it is boring. But it is not boring. It is because it is not exciting the mind. And the mind wants to understand things. It wants excitement. But the soul kind of a thing, content, it looks like boring, but exactly that is what you want to. At the beginning, it is like you'll be forcing yourself to listen to that. But with time, it will become your second nature, that you must listen to that, because the soul needs that. That is how you are feeding, because you have to feed your soul. That is how you are expanding and growing. So you are tapping into things that are expanding your soul, that are expanding your light, that are expanding you as a soul being. And now the mind will soon accept it. But if you are not in a routine whereby you have included things that are soul in nature, you can listen even to audiobooks, you can listen to talks, you can listen to, speeches, to anything that is soul-based. Those kind of teachers that are really soul-based, you will find that content, there is something it does to you. It may look boring, but that is exactly what you need. You need to put it in your diet, let me call it, because there is what they will say, a mental diet. This is now a soul diet. Like, this is how you are feeding your soul. You are feeding your soul this way. Instead of watching just nonsense things in YouTube and TikTok and whatever else people watch, Netflix, put yourself in a schedule where you feed yourself, you feed your soul. Because if you are not feeding your soul, how do you think you are going to grow and mature? You don't want to be always on this on the mind kind of content that is really just feeding the mind. You want to see that you have a way that you feed your soul. You can see a spiritual teacher that you align to, and you just get a routine of listening to them on a daily basis. For example, you can listen to a meditation, a guided meditation. You can listen to a subliminal if you don't want to listen to the words. That I find that very, very, very helpful. You can listen to those talks. You can listen to audiobooks. There are different ways you can do. You can find your own way. That's why the twin flame journey there is. I cannot say do this exactly. You find your own way that you align to. But at least in that routine, that is how I'm saying that as in this masculine energy that now you are embodying. Now that is the container that you have. Say like you have a routine. Don't say when. If you don't want to say when you'll do it in the day, but just know you'll do this, and this, and put in that container. That is what you are. That is how you are learning to put order in your life. And I have said one of the signs you know that your divine masculine is awakening, because when I'm speaking from that, I am not speaking of your physical divine masculine. I am talking of your energy, which is your divine masculine energy is awakening. It is that order you have. You establish that order in your life, and that is how you know they are awakening, even physically, because yours is awakening at an internal place. So create that routine somewhere. I am not saying wake up 5 o'clock in the morning or do a midnight meditation. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you find your way in the day where you are combining these things one way or another. Where you are feeding your soul in one way or another, because now this is your highest diet. Because now when your soul is eating, you need to feed it. Otherwise, you are going to starve it. And how are you going to be in soul if you are not doing things of soul? If you want information, listen to this kind of, you can never go wrong. You can never go wrong when you are doing that. Listen to people who have soul-based teachings, which you feel that they are leading you to a place of soul. You will know it. Somehow they will look boring, but they are not boring. It is because your mind is not getting, it wants excitement and intellect and what, but it is now not. Now you are now the one who is in charge. The mind you have gone to school, you have got a lot of intellect. If you went to school, hopefully, if you didn't, it is also okay. But I'm saying that you have had a lot of intellectual things. Now it is time for your soul. And the mind is, first of all, not going to receive that well. When you are going to tell the soul, you'll be listening to this spiritual teacher or to that, or to that, or to that. There are different teachers that you can listen to. They are all over good teachers. You can listen to Michael Singer. You can listen to Eckhart Tolle. You can listen to Ram Dass. You can listen to who else? There are very, very many. How you resonate, who you resonate with. You can listen to audiobooks. Soul-based audiobooks. Listen to them over and over again. And with that, you can never be wrong, because you are feeding your soul. And those things will force you to come into the soul, whether you want it or not. So try to go to that kind of content and see how you are nourishing your soul, your spirit. You want to be nourishing your soul and spirit. You want to come from a place where you are nourishing your soul, your spirit, that you are in control and the mind is not really taking over as much as it will like. And when the mind is taking over, you have control over it. It is not just going on an automatic kind of a way, just thinking random thoughts, chain of thoughts that are not aligned into the energy of union. And I remind you, every time you are still coming back to you, inside of you, that is where your energy is. You are not looking outside, because looking outside of you and looking for outside. Number one, you want to say that you are divine masculine, you are not one. So that is separation. Number one, you don't want to look outside, because when you are looking outside, you are also saying that God is outside, which is not true. You are not separate from divine. You are not separate from your twin flame. So if you are looking for those signs and for those things, come back to yourself. Come back inside and tell yourself you are so important, and that is why you are focusing on yourself. The reason you are focusing on yourself is because you are so important, and because you are worthy of focusing on yourself. That is how wonderful you are. Why should you focus on another? So if you find your mind like wandering here and there, bring it back to yourself and tell it why you are doing that. Anytime you are saying your intention, your reason why, it is very, very strong. So we see you in the next videos.